Hi everybody. After the professional speak, let's have some fun one. So today I'm gonna tell some of my story to you guys. So starting from the elementary school, I had shown some actual and special care with the girls in my class, and especially the prettiest one. And sometimes I would have some WeChat chatting with her to just get us closer. And I will always use "Are you there?" to start our talking. And that's my convention. At the beginning, she answered quite normal. And quickly, she says, "Oh, what's up? I'm here. How are you?" Those normal stuff. But after a week later, I received a message saying that, "Oh, I'm not here." I was like, "Oh my God, you just responded to me. How can you say you are not here?" So after she received this message, the only thing I get was this one, a smelly emoji. And as a youth, we all know what does that mean. That means, "Oh my God, you are the most boring boy in the world. I don't want to talk to you anymore." That's quite sad for me. And after that loss, I find a Haiwan friend who is really good at pickup. You know that word, right? And I want to find some advice about how to talk to girls and how to find common topics with them. And he told me that horoscope was actually a great topic. In Chinese, we call it 星座. And then I started to go online and search for some description of the horoscope. Of course, I need to start from my own one, which is the Geminis and 双子座 in Chinese we call it. And after online searching, the first and the most obvious characteristic of the Geminis is talkative. So I think in my daily life, I'm a really talkative person. So here's a really, really fun story. This is time I went to a dinner with my Haiwan friends and his girlfriend. And after I come back from the bathroom, I hear them was talking about their ex. I was like, "Oh, I'm interested in it. I want to talk about it." So I just quickly step in and said, "Oh, come on, are you guys talking about Mary?" And his girlfriend was like, "Who the heck is Mary? You gotta tell me this today." And his boyfriend was like, "Come on, Alex, explain to her. I don't know who this Mary. You gotta tell her." And I said, "Oh, it's not Mary. Huh. Then it must be Jesse. Come on, that's another guy. You just added WeChat last month. You can't forget it." And his girlfriend was like, "You gotta explain this to me. Otherwise, you cannot leave the table today." "Alex, please, just don't make joke to me. Come on, explain to her. I don't know this two guy." And after that night, they talked a lot about their story and their ex. And I saw myself as a really good person who was helping people finding topic and sort of talkative. And so the first characteristic of the Gemini was quite right for me. And the second one was Gemini is always being rational when we're making decisions and when we're dealing with problems. So you can see this from my previous story talking about you always using "Are you there? Are you there?" to start the chatting, which is quite boring and rational. And after learning how to dealing with relationship and learning from my Haiwan friends, I got more mature and know how to dealing with relationship. And not surprisingly, I got my first girlfriend. And this experience was really weird and kind of easy come and easy go. And I still remember that time I was really, really extremely busy on my final exam and I almost dropped class. But she was like, "Come on, hang out with me. I want to play. Just having a day with me. I don't care about study, but I care about my math homework." So as a really extremely rational Gemini, I decided to break up with her. And this experience just told me one thing. Women sometimes weaken my legs. Yeah, just a joke. And this two story made me think I'm a really rational person and a talkative person, as the Gemini says. So from then on, I start to introduce myself as a Gemini who is really talkative and rational. When I'm having a party with my friend or when I hang out with them, I will always sort of emphasizing those two tags. And later, one of my classmates asked me to do a really, really extremely long and boring questionnaire. It will ask, "How you feeling today?" Sort of silly questions. And this is called an MBTI professional test. And I believe most people have done it before. And there's the 4 category on this test. Mine was ENFJ. E stands for extroversion, and N for intuition, F for feeling, J for judgment. I don't know what the heck is intuition and judgment. I don't care about those. But extroversion was quite understood because I'm a really talkative person who likes to talk. So this is quite matched. However, what the hell is the feeling part? I'm not a little sensitive girl who likes to cry, but a strong, rational boy. So I started getting confused about that. But after carefully reading the description of the ENFJ, I realized F for feeling was not just being sensitive to the world, but also thinking creatively. So sometimes when I sit in the car, I will imagine what if I suddenly just turn the steering wheel and the car will bomb and I will die. I believe most people, some of them have the same idea. And sometimes when I standing in a really high place, I will imagine what if I just like close my eyes and just run away and just falling off and die. And sometimes when I cutting vegetable, I will imagine what if I just cut my 5 fingers off, and what if I just put my finger on the boiling oil to try to feel the heat. Those crazy and neurotic ideas make me think that I'm really a feeling person in some situations. So here I fell into a really strange and weird contradiction because, as the Gemini says, I already be a feeling person. I already being a talkative person in my daily life. How can I also be a feeling person? That's not matching. But after have a deeper understanding of the psychology part and our human brain, I realized there's a phenomenon that can explain this, which is called Barnum effect. And which means that people will tend to believe what the personality description says and tended to act that way. So for example, if I'm a quiet person inside, but I am a Gemini, as the description says, I should be talkative. So when I hang out with my friends, having a date with my girls, I will try to be talkative, even though inside I'm a really quiet person. That's what the Barnum effect was trying to say. But think about that. Is our life really defined by just a single word or a sort of professional MBTI test? The answer is definitely not, but our own definition. Because we are the most smartest animal in the planet, and we will behave depends on our mood, depends on different conditions. Sometimes I could be quiet when I was really sad. Sometimes could be really talkative when I hang out with my friends. Sometimes could be emotional. Sometimes could be rational. That depends on the situations. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing I want you to remember after my speech, is that our life was not defined by a single word, but our own definition. So from now, from 2023, let's be ourselves and enjoy our own life. Thanks.
Thank you.